What are those? Did your grandma get those for you? Holy cow. Jeez, are we still rocking that terrible, 70s porn music for the intro for this show, too? Yeah, we are? Okay, that's great.
Everybody, welcome to Season 2 of Rise of the Comics. I'm your host, Scotty Aceman. Later tonight, we're going to take you inside Yuck Yucks, where we've got 132 comics sizzled down to 8. And one of those guys or girls is going to win $3,000. It's big time stuff. We're living it up here on the West Coast. But first, we have a very special guest that's dropped in to help celebrate with us. He's doing Rise of the Comics live, and he's right here with us, Chris James. Chris, come on in. How you doing, Chris?
Oh, I'm good. How are you? Sorry, have we started it?
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to mention this is a fucking piece of paper?
Yes.
Why do you...
That's our make flag.
Oh, I don't know if it picks up on that. I didn't want people to be fooled.
Well, it's good you pointed it out because we are trying to raise money for a few things. We need a mic flag.
I'm sorry I was a part of that awful thing you just did. So what do we want to talk about?
Well, Chris is, he doesn't like this, but he's starring, headlining in one of our shows coming up, Rise of the Comics Live. We're very excited about that. Chris, there are some adjectives that people have described you as. What do you say about this?
Wait a minute, who?
These are just random people in the Vancouver metro area. How do they know about you?
I believe this to be very suspect. This premise is suspect. I believe you wrote these. I don't know who would know me to say anything about me, and I don't know if anyone that knows me would talk to you about me.
When you do watch the Not Even a Show, Chris James, YouTube, or on Facebook.
No, just on YouTube.
Okay, well, I found it on Facebook.
Well, it has a group, but you can link to it. I mean, I think you found it on my Facebook.
I did not know you were this angry.
Well, you're giving misinformation about my show. See, Scott he logged on his Facebook, and he saw it because I posted on my Facebook wall, and then he's like, well, I guess it's on Facebook. But no, it's on YouTube is where it is.
I was trying to pay him a compliment. The kid is an unbelievable editor. This is a really cool show.
Thanks. No, I really thanks. That's actually...
I wanted to make sure we got that. Did we get that, Hector? Okay, good. Thanks. Chris can be seen regularly at the Comedy Mix in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah, I'll be there next weekend.
Next weekend. Okay, that will be some weekend after you see this.
Oh, no, but it's next weekend. It's October 5th to 7th.
That's correct.
Yeah, which is next weekend.
He will be there. He will be there.
So I don't know why we could tell them to go there next weekend.
If you're in town, you want free tickets, look us up. We're on social media everywhere, Rise of the Comics. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and go out and... I was not going to say see you later. I was going to say get out and enjoy live comedy.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'll sign off on that, Scotty. Can we go now, please? Thanks.
Chris, you're fucking great, man. That's fucking hilarious. That is so fucking Jesus. I'm here with one of the semi-finalists, Cliff Prang. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Well, one thing that I noticed on your Facebook is that it's quote-unquote, I don't know who wrote this, that they think you're disarmingly charming, focused, and funny. Did you write that?
I wrote that myself. It's a difficult thing, writing a bio. And so when you find the words that feel right, you put them down on paper, and then you regret them later. Yeah, like right now. Yeah. I
think disarmingly charming needs to be explained a little bit more.
Well, did you feel uptight when you first came into presence with me, and now all of a sudden you're really relaxed?
No, I'm being charmed by you right now.
Exactly, you're feeling it, aren't you? I see the twinkle in your eye. That's actually me twinkling in your eye.
Now, what most people don't know about Cliff, aside from he is a tremendous talent, is that he's a professional actor and does a whole bunch of other stuff. And I thought we'd get right to it. Where did you get your first paycheck from in this business?
Oh man, Vancouver Theatre Sports, and that's probably let's see, 2000, now like 2000, 2001.
Wow, and you've been sustaining a professional career.
Since then, no, not at all. So that was a short stint, and those checks were like $35. But that was a what do you call it? It was like when you're part of a credit union, like it's just like a little share. It's called a share. I got the word, and so I did that for a few years, and then you get these like $30 checks, and then I got hooked up with a professional improv troupe, and then I was making real money, fed my family doing improv shows.
Well, I'm very impressed about that, and you are charming. But before we let you go, Cliff, where do you expect to be in 1 year? You've been at this for a long time, very successful.
Wow.
Where do you want to be in a year?
I want to be acting more. I want to be doing more stand-up. I'm hoping to do a little bit of touring. I'm actually filming my very first special in September. I'm hoping that is selling. I hope people are buying that and enjoying it. I just want to do more of what I'm doing now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cliff Prang.
Thank you. I'm a stay-at-home father. That's what I do for a job. I'm a stay-at-home dad. Thank you. I just wish my wife and children would applaud like that. But it's a simple job. All I got to do is a ton of laundry and day drinking. It's great. It's a good job. But I've been talking to my kids about moving out. My eldest son is 11 now, and I want to make sure he's got a plan. So I'm like, where are you going to move, bud? When are you going to go? He's like, I don't know, like Edmonton? Okay. Gross, but why? It's like, West Edmonton Mall, Dad. I'm like, oh, right. So you want to work at the mall? That's fine, it's fine. You can do that. Like, where in the mall you want to work? It's like Claire's. If you don't know what Claire's is, it's like a girly accessory store that sells scrunchies and leggings and cheap jewelry, like where you shop for her. Like I'm just saying, he's wearing a t-shirt on a night out. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, why Claire's, bud? He's like, well, then I get to meet all the ladies. I'm like, oh yeah, smart kid. Like, what are you gonna do with all those ladies when you get to them? He's like, I don't know, like give them a 10% discount or something. Kids are so stupid, guys. They're so dumb. Like, we have hangers and hooks. In our house, I got 3 kids, and we got hangers and hooks, and I find their clothes on the floor. I'm like, why are your clothes on the floor? They're like, I don't know. We got a hamper. I'm finding dirty underwear in the kitchen. I'm like, why? And they're like, I don't know. We have a shed, and I find their bikes on the lawn in the rain. I'm like, why? And they're like, I don't know. And you're like, Cliff, you got 3 kids, man. Why didn't you use birth control? I'm like, no. And they're racist, everybody. Children are racist. And I blame Dora the Explorer. Yeah. If you don't know who Dora is, she's the cartoon Hispanic girl with the bob haircut, the monkey, and the map, teaching Spanish to children all over the world. My kids watch Dora, and now they assume that every person of color is speaking Spanish. And we used to live in an Indo-Canadian neighborhood, and this nice Punjabi lady came up to my daughter and was like, Sat Sri Akal, hello, little girl. My daughter was like, hola. Vámonos. Swiper, no swiping.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're here with John Cullen. John we don't see him a lot because he's a traveling comic. Welcome to the show, Mr. Cullen.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Pleasure to be here.
Now, John is self-described, I believe, as a modern-day Renaissance man. Yeah, he brings a vast experience of all sorts of talents. I want to get into the musical stuff. You're a school teacher. You're a drummer. Yeah. You have a lot going on. How did you get into stand-up?
That's a good question. My uncle is a professional comedian. He has been for like 23 years. So I got into stand-up like when he was getting really big at stand-up comedy. I was a teenager, so pretty impressionable. So I watched a lot of comedy on TV and kind of liked it. And then being a teacher, as you said, I'm on summer break every year, so I get really bored. So one summer I just decided to try stand-up, and 7 years later, here we are.
Right. Now I was going to ask you about that because it has been 7 years. Yeah. And in that time, you've managed to do live shows for Just for Laughs, both in Montreal, including a recent taping in Halifax. So please don't tell me that you were genius from the beginning. How did all this unfold?
Well, I have been a genius from the beginning. You actually nailed it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I guess being a teacher, I think, helped a lot. Like, I always explain it like I'm a substitute teacher. So every day I'm in front of...
Up for Prime Minister then.
Yes, exactly. I'm hoping so, yeah. Give me another 10 years or so. But yeah, I always felt like every day I'm in front of a group of people that want me to fail. So when you do comedy, you're in front of a group of people that theoretically want you to succeed. So I think just like being comfortable being in front of a group kind of helped me progress maybe a little faster than I would have otherwise. And then I think just like my family being so funny and being around my uncle and stuff, I think that helped a lot, and he helped me a lot in the early going. And so yeah, that kind of helped me get going, I guess. Yeah,
that's so cool. I've seen John many times, and he has one of those very professional nuances with tremendous cadence, and I can tell by just talking with you that it's very normal. You're very lucky.
Oh, thanks.
But you have so many great observations, John. You just touched a little bit on them. Did you pick up any insights from your uncle, and would you like to give him a shout out?
Sure. Yeah, thank you for all the compliments, by the way. This is the best interview I've ever done. Just keep it coming. Just tell me more about how great I am. My uncle's name is Chris Quigley. He's a great guy, and I don't really think I picked up any observations from him. We're actually super different comedians. He's like a one-liner comedian. He's kind of got that sort of stoner humor about him, and I'm just a teetotaler, Scott. I don't partake in the marijuana smoking, so I'm just like a good boy who's just trying his best. That's all.
John, thanks so much for doing this. We look forward to seeing you on TV and live. You got to get out to live shows, people. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be right back after this break. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm a high school teacher. I've been teaching high school for 8 years now, and I've been trying to get a policy instituted. They won't let me do it, but I think it would be great. You guys can see if you agree with me or not. I think every teacher, every year, should just get 5 F-bombs. Yeah. Thank you. I agree. Because I don't know how many of you have been around teenagers recently, but some of them just need to hear, hey, shut your fucking mouth. They do. They need to hear that. And I think it would be effective, because it'd be someone in a position of authority using that word. They would get the gravity of that. They would also know that they did something bad enough that you burned one of your 5 on them, right? You're like, hey, shut the fuck up. They're like, oh my God, it's September 10th. Mr. Cullen is pissed. He's dipping into the well early. I think it'd be great too if you could bank them like sick days. Yeah, like if you could somehow make it to June having saved all 5 of them, then you could trade them in for a slap. Pro-child beating crowd in here tonight. That's nice. That's good. Because I think that would be great. That would be such a good last day of school. That would be amazing. Because the kids wouldn't even know. They wouldn't have even known that you saved up all 5. They just come into the class like, bye, Mr. Cullen, have a good summer. School's out. Like that just starts playing for some reason. Like, where did that come from? That's amazing. Oh man, you got to do some weird shit though. You got to do some weird shit when you're a high school teacher. So you don't think about when you're going through teachers college. You don't think about the weird shit. You just think about being in front of the class. You don't think about the weird stuff. You also got to do like I got to supervise high school dances. Yeah, that's not for me. That's not for anyone really. Like I'm 31 and a man. Shouldn't be there. Shouldn't be there. I shouldn't. It's not correct at all. So when you think about that, at the end of the day, a high school dance, right? There's just a room full of teenagers making out. And I'm just there. It's not correct at all. Like if you put that in a different context, like if I was in a room with 2 teenagers making out, and that room was a basement, I'm going to jail. But for some reason, if that room is a cafeteria flimsily decorated to look like a jungle, I get time and a half. Thank you.
Guys, we've just been joined by another semifinalist, one of the top comics in Vancouver. He is a pro-am, originally from Prince George. Chris Gaskin, welcome to the show.
Can I point out the fact that he's not wearing shoes yet? Can someone see, what are those? Did your grandma get those for you? Holy cow. Jeez, are we still rocking that terrible, 70s porn music for the intro for this show, too? Yeah, we are? Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, now, Chris has been a semifinalist many times. As I said, he is one of the top pro-ams in the city.
What a way to say that I'm a loser many times. That's nice of you.
Chris, you've got better self-esteem. Don't give me that crap. Now, Chris, seriously, you make it look so easy on stage. You're so likable. Tell us how you got into comedy and how you've morphed into this local celeb.
That's a long story that involves being at a local fair and a lot of work. It's a lot of work, really. That's what led to it.
Are we talking writing, editing, and performing hours and hours?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
And mostly sitting on Ryan. That helps elevate you a lot.
We actually go on the road together as a ventriloquist actor every once in a while, so
Yeah.
we got to pay the bill somehow,
Now, Chris has been in one of our earlier episodes.
Trying to shoot TV.
Yeah. Episode number 4. And please go back and check out our
And
4th
episode
episode.
number 2.
Yes, you see, he knows more about it than I do.
And episode number 8, where you just shoehorned in the same set because you don't have enough content.
What about now? Is this content?
I hope so, because I'm working my butt off here.
Chris, if you were to win, and I wouldn't be surprised, what would you do with $3,000?
I'd buy a car.
What kind of a car would you buy for $3,000?
A used car that'll be worth $3,000. That's.
And someone would sponsor you for the insurance and for the booster seat.
Listen, I'm taking it up the rear from him right now. I don't need you giving it to me too, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to let these guys go because they're about to perform. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Chris Gaskin, one of my faves.
Ryan LaChance just peed himself. So, all right, let's get out of here.
Oh, Chris, that was hilarious.
Yes, men come in this size too. I am 5'2". That is slightly below average height for a woman from the 14th century. It's not a great height as a man. Tall guys have it so good. If you saw a tall guy walking fast down the street, you'd be like, look at that man, power walking, But if you saw me walking fast down the street, you'd just be like, ugh, he's scurrying. That's not... I don't know if you've watched Animal Planet. Cool animals don't scurry. In fact, as far as I can tell, every animal that scurries makes women climb up on things like, Rats, cockroaches, me trying to get pussy, just Not only am I short, but I'm a millennial, A millennial with, how did my friend say it, small man syndrome. And when I asked why, he was like, well, you always look pissed off. Why do you always look pissed off? And I was like, I'm 5'2". If I look upwards at another guy not pissed off, it looks like I'm in love with him. Besides, the only thing that I'm pissed off about is the fact that I'm a millennial. I hate the fact that I'm a millennial. I think we're the worst generation, the worst parents I've ever seen by far. You know how I know that? 6 times a week, I see a kid on a leash. What the fuck? That's what we do as a generation. We put our kids on leashes, but we only eat free range. Does anyone else not see a fucking problem? Just standing in Whole Foods was the chicken happy? Stop it, Caden. Stop it. Bad. No. day. Was the chicken happy? Like, who cares? It's a chicken. I only eat factory farm. That is a typical Vancouver response right there. I know a few of you are looking up like, that's evil. You're a bad person. Really? No, I'm a good person. You should be like me. I only eat free range. I'm a great person. Really, you're a great person because you are only killing the happy animals. Yeah. You're the fucking villain. You're the villain. You're the one who's like, oh my God, look how happy that chicken is. Murder it! I'm hungry!
Hey everybody, that's the adorable Chris Gaskin. What a great way to end the show. My thanks also to John Cullen, Cliff Prang, and at the top, Chris James. Guys, get out, enjoy some live comedy. We're all over social media. My name's Scotty Aceman, and we'll see you next time on Rise of the Comics. From Yuck Yucks. Are you ready? Yeah. Third. Oh, let's redo that.
Okay.
Let's redo that.
Test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Very nice sound. But as soon as you come in, you're going to go around me right away. Okay. Good job, and good luck tonight.